Jike showing more emotion yesterday in his quarterfinal match than I've seen ever from Jike against Ho Kwon Kit, taking him to Game 7. Very impressive performance from the young Hong Kong player. But Jike prevailed and is here to start off this best-of-7 semifinal. Well, yesterday, Jike looked quite spry, had a lot of spring in his step. Very fast to lunge and move, run down the ball. There's the backhand. You could hear the grunt, and he really got his back into that one. A long, heavy push has a lot of backspin, and he's going to need to use that back and the legs to lift, which he did. Softer, spinnier ball deep on the table. Now, as solid as the backhand is of Ma Long, Jike should win the battle backhand to backhand. As you can see, Jike's shots quality, not allowing time for Ma Long to really step around. Now Ma Long, even if he has the time to step around, the danger is that Jike has the quality shot and the timing to bring it back wide to Ma Long's forehand. The touch game goes to Ma Long that point. Attempted fast long serve. A long serve you want to have bounce close to your baseline and close to your opponent's baseline as well. It's one way to keep it fast, but low to the net. Sometimes it's going to clip the top, as you just saw. Well placed serve again from Ma Long. Heavy topspin on the Chiquita from Jike. As far as back injuries go, Jike suffered some back injuries. Last year in Germany, he had to get a shot near the spine when he showed up and still played against doctor's orders. Strain comes is because of the over-the-table backhand from the forehand side and then getting back for the deep backhand. Look at the placement here. Jike blocking it softly out to the forehand. Ma Long's ball. Now, as agile and fast and fluid as Ma Long is in his game, we're seeing this is Jike's shots right now. Not too many players can make Ma Long question himself in his decisions. But much like at the Olympics, I think game 1 is going to be quite crucial for Jike. His real best chance is keeping Ma Long from getting confident. So far this game, we've seen Ma Long miss more forehands than I can recall. I think Tristan Flor taking it to Game 7 earlier this year. I believe it was Korea. A real breakout performance for Tristan Flor, one of few foreigners to test Ma Long and take him to Game 7. That was an amazingly clear poster in the crowd. Looked like Ma Long was actually standing next to the fans in the crowd. Maybe we'll get to see it again later. Serve comes too long. Jike thought it was top of the net. I'll tell you one more time. Slow motion. It's tough to tell. No question about that one. Heavy underspin on the pendulum serve with the subtle contact near the body from Ma Long. It's got to be tough. Professional athletes, of course, are used to hearing cheers for their opponents, but when you hear Jike loudly in front of the home crowd, it really takes mental focus to blur that out. With the step around forehand, Zhang takes it for the 6 in game 1. I think we've got a match on our hands. You don't want to miss it. Game 2 coming up right after this. 在下课首先一起参与互动蓝牙领取运动员签名球拍。现在请各位继续观看比赛。 The players are quickly back for game 2 as neither player has a coach in their corner. Same national association. So this is rare to say, but Ma Long down 0 games to 1 right now. Could hear that one contact the net. Again, the touch game. Zhang Jike leaving it at the back of the table. Still Ma Long with a crisp follow-up attack. A little bit off the top of the net for Ma Long, but still a lot of power. For me, this match is at a very interesting point. Regardless of who wins, I think it makes it more interesting to see Zhang Jike take game 1. Because it means that Ma Long is going to have a tougher battle ahead. It's going to be playing a little bit tighter, maybe. Oh, a full spin. Turns his back to the table. Inside-out forehand from the backhand corner. Look at the angle I'm anticipating. He can't block it back to the open table. And this is China. As the rally goes on and the counter loops will come out. Middle of the rally, the cheering, you gotta love it. Explosive power. And to tell you the truth, that explosive power I feel like is at 90% maybe in that rally. They can still hit harder. I think it also adds to the danger that Zhang Jike is willing to step around and take the forehand from the backhand corner. Despite having such a strong backhand, still most players will prefer to win the point with their forehand. More power, bigger stroke. Attempted chop block, Ma Long's specialty. I don't think I've seen any player with the chop block more consistent than Ma Long in the past year. Koki Niwa, of course, does it quite successfully. But Zhang Jike couldn't keep it down, and now he's trailing by 4 points at the first towel break. The very deepest part of the table. Zhang Jike thought it was off. There's that step around forehand. I feel like Zhang Jike's game is similar to the Chinese team, the team championships. Even on the bench, as strong as the backhand is, he's got the forehand waiting there on the bench. Sort of like if one element of his game stops number 3 and still be a threat to world number 1. But this is the power and the speed that we're used to from Ma Long, the dictator dictating this rally. Now just for reference, these two players have played on the World Tour 18 times head-to-head, and Ma Long has won 12 of them, 2/3 of their encounters. But if you look at the 6 that Zhang Jike has won, and you valued them based on their importance, it'd be a much closer to even head-to-head battle. Clever play. Zhang Jike not only has power, but as you've seen, has touch. And he softens up 2 shots here in the rally. There's one. And then gets the forehand counter in. Both players, of course, know the game well, but come across the body to save a little bit of time in the rally. to not have to get their footing and their balance too much into the backhand corner, exposing the open forehand. What are you gonna do? Ma Long hits the ball right to the middle of Zhang Jike, and he still gets it back. This is a shot that's supposed to get Zhang Jike off balance, but it comes back, and Ma Long is the one who has to pay for it. Spinny shot. That serve looked like it might have caught the near edge of the table for Ma Long. Dangerously close to the side. Dangerously close to missing the serve. Second service error we've seen this match from Zhang Jike. But who's counting? 5 game points for Ma Long. Big opening backhand, but the forehand goes long. 1 game point saved. Fans watching in anticipation. Even saw a camcorder out there. Got a fan with the video crew. Backhand to backhand again. That last shot, if it comes on the table, Zhang Jike looked like he was a little bit spent after the first 2 shots. 2 game points saved in a row. Forehand flip down the middle goes long. Now Ma Long at the 3rd towel break probably won't use a timeout because he's got a little mini timeout here. Again, those of you a little newer to table tennis, players are allowed to towel off once every 6 points have been played. This keeps the match moving, but also gives the players a fair chance to not lose grip of the racket. Backhand to the middle, a little bit of side spin from Zhang Jike, and he's within 1 point of taking this to deuce in game 2. Still no timeout used by Ma Long. That serve gets up just a little bit high, and from the back of the table, Ma Long sees the middle of the table, and by the narrowest of margins takes game 2 to tie it up 1 game apiece. We'll be back for game 3 right after this. And as the players come back for game 3, it's tied up at 1 game each. Ma Long in red at the top of the screen. Head-to-head, winning 2/3 of the encounters against Zhang Jike, most recently in Rio at the Olympic Games. It was a 4-0 victory for Ma Long, but that will not happen out here. 1 game already dropped. Edge of the racket for Zhang Jike. Again, at this level of play, the angle of the racket is so close to counter topspin. Timing has to be just perfect. Ma Long starting to look a little bit more fluid. Zhang Jike not initiating. Zhang Jike will have to get in that first strong attack to keep Ma Long from being so aggressive. Ma Long clearly not happy about his decisions there. Again, the quality of push either has to be very decisively deep, floating and deep, very heavy, or a soft touch. Now it's interesting, the ticket sales here, the crowd is different every day. People fighting for their spot in the stadium, but yesterday when Zhang Jike stomped his feet, the crowd screamed and roared like crazy. At the first towel break of the game, I'll tell you how Ma Long got here. In the first round, he played Malaysia's Chifeng Leong. It was a 4-0 victory, but not by a lot. Every game was the margin of 2 points, except for one, which was 11-8. So a solid match from Malaysia's Chifeng. After that, Kenta Matsudaira, 4-2 for Ma Long. You can check that one out on ittf.com/ittv. So the fact that Ma Long is getting tested out here on the World Tour by four is a very good sign for table tennis and the improvement around the world. I don't think Ma Long is slowing down, and China's definitely not putting less resources into table tennis. Matsudaira was Vladimir Samsonov for Ma Long. Immediately Zhang checking to see if that ball was wet when it slides off the rubber like that. The strong opening backhand. Well, it was a solid opening lead for Ma Long. Zhang Jike still very much in this game. Serve drifts off the table just a little bit, but it's close enough to the back edge. And there's Ma Long. I don't think you can see his heart there behind the head of another fan. But a beautiful poster made of his moment after winning the gold medal at the Olympic Games. Well placed on the middle. Testing Zhang Jike to see if he'll turn and try and take the forehand. In both the men's and women's games, playing to the middle early in the point is to your advantage. As big as the table is at this level, it's tough to hit it by someone on the wings on the opening shot. Oh, a second bounce on the table off the top of the net. A monster in this break here. There was the touch of Zhang Jike to leave it shallow. The cross the body forehand and this backhand. If that rally definitely will be in the top 10. There have been some exciting points throughout this tournament so far. Make sure you subscribe to the official ITTF YouTube channel to catch all the highlights, top 10 videos, and everything else good in table tennis. You can also enjoy the Facebook page for ITTF, International Table Tennis Federation. It's the official page on Facebook. Two grunting forehands in a row from the backhand corner. And power from unbreakable Zhang Jike. We'll see the tattoo's still pretty new. Maybe persistent is one that there's no question about. From down 2-6, we got 5 out of the last 7 points have gone to Zhang Jike. Ma Long, more than that. We got 8-7 out here now, so yeah, 5 out of the last 7 points. And finally a shot that's out of the comfort zone, wide on the forehand. This ball very late. This is Xu Xin timing right here. That ball hooking away. Ma Long still keeps side spin on the ball. Again, world number 1. And that one just misses. An incredible get there. Zhang Jike putting everything in to get this ball from just above the ground. This is like the Quadri-Aruna point versus Zhang Jike in 2014. Men's World Cup, 0.1 point of the year in 2014.
7-10.
3 game points from Ma Long on the receive. Oh. Pretty rare you see Zhang Jike set up for a behind the back shot. Completely fooled, moving out to the forehand. A clever attempt by Ma Long to hit it behind him, but still a high pressure shot. Now the ticket sales are different every day, but yesterday it was 85% women in the crowd here, and you can hear by the screams. And if you have a chance to stop by the hotel, the fans are flooding the place for these two players. The backhand once again, just like last game. Zhang Jike coming within 1 point from down. Last game it was 5-10 he came back from. happening backhand from in over the table, but Ma Long doing the smart play. Hits it deep to the back. As fit as he is, does not recover. You'll see it again right here. And Ma Long escapes 11-9 to take a 2-1 lead. We'll be back for game 4 after this short break. And we're back for game 4. Ma Long in red, making sure it's this side of the table only. The players have been testing the floor. Yesterday, Ho Kwon Kit had to take a few moments. There was a little moisture, I guess a good amount of moisture. The floor was wet. Ma Long leading though, 2-1 over Zhang Jike in black. Hyper speed, and look at the finish. There's goes from Zhang Jike. Watch the finishing shot on this. So much snap in that wrist, and he holds it up. Stature from Zhang Jike. First point of game 4, my goodness. And once again, the heat is on. And get out the kitchen right now, the chef, Zhang Jike, down the law early in the rally here. And a touch shot from low on the forehand side leaves Ma Long with question marks over the head. Tries to fish it back up. Sometimes from under the table you can get a bit of underspin on the ball with the side spin to fool the opponent. Seriously, grab the extinguisher. But Zhang Jike on fire. Simply en fuego, as they say. Forehand flip. Seems like something just undefinable. Difficult to imagine, but we just witnessed it with our own eyes. And as deep as they come, blocked back on the table. This is what makes a rivalry outstanding, and what makes these two so great to watch. Ma Long defending a title, but still only in the semifinals. Full commitment, the sweeping leg. Look at how long these steps are, the strides and the lunge from Zhang Jike. Fans sweating in the crowd. That's how hot it is in here right now. Look at this, screaming fans everywhere for both of these players. But Zhang Jike showing some serious versatility. Again, his backhand, his signature, but it's been forehands this game. Simply incredible, the creativity. Ma Long tried almost exactly what I described before. From under the table, the touch shot left way high with side spin, and it looked like he might have even come under it a bit, making the ball come back toward the net. Not so many players are ever in a position to be up 8-0 against Ma Long. That was strange. I'd like to see that one again. Not sure if Zhang Jike thought it hit the top of the net, but it's definitely no time to soften up. I've seen Ma Long come back from similar deficits. Clever idea, but well placed on the body from Ma Long. Zhang Jike could not turn and keep it on the short side of the table. Now this is the type of confidence and coolness you only see from a player who's either way in the lead or way behind and just at a loss. Sometimes they throw caution to the wind, just feel loose because they have nothing else to lose. Ma Long down so much, looks so comfortable out here in that backhand to backhand rally, playing slightly more passive. But no allowance this time. Zhang Jike with the opening shot, too spinny, and the placement right on the middle. Look at this ball. Ma Long having... I can't remember the last time I saw somebody lob down Ma Long. A fishing rally, almost starting off looking like an exhibition point out here. And yet Ma Long has 7 game points against him.
Next. 3-10.
Outstanding rally, the fast long serve down the line is recovered. No ace for Ma Long. This good dominant performance, 11-3 in game 4. We're tied up at 2 games each. We'll be back in several seconds for game 5 to see who takes the lead in this clash of the titans. The epic battle will continue. Stay right here. And as the players come back to the table, the screams come up every time Zhang Jike turns around. Fans here, at the chance of being heard or making eye contact with Zhang Jike, scream like nobody's business. Serious fandom here. Again, security throughout the hotel. I saw girls, I think last night in the elevator crying. Oh, maybe that was, no, that was last night. Security taking out crying fans. Probably to get this close to their heroes, their crushes and everything else. And to not make it, to not succeed. Almost recovering the top of the net, Zhang Jike. The streak has been broken. He won last game 11 points to 3, but lost the first point of game 5. Now on a few occasions, Ma Long has hit the ball jamming up Zhang Jike's forehand. Seems like he thought it was going to be wider to the forehand. It's tough to keep power on the ball when it's in near your elbow on the forehand side.
Next. 2 love.
Missed the contact. Zhang Jike trying to play it out to the open forehand. Now at the start of this game, even though they're tied up at 2-2, Zhang Jike had scored 40 points, Ma Long only 31. Oh my goodness! The flip kill and the counters right off the bounce. It's so fast. One more, and that one, the racket goes like a Ma Lin shot from back in the day. I don't think I've seen players with their rackets behind the head as much as Ma Lin. And falling back from the table, the slightly slower spinny shot from Ma Long deters the attack, the counter from Zhang Jike. Almost an around the net shot with the forehand from the back. This ball, let's look at this one more time. So wide, this would be incredible. The net post just blocking one of the most epic shots. Although with these two, you never know. Zhang Jike could have countered it back to the open forehand. So many opportunities for top 10 highlights here. Ma Long has used the fast long serve effectively on a few occasions, more than usual in this match. Again, when you're quite familiar with your opponent's game, mixing up service very important. At the top edge of the table, and it was Zhang. Look at this one more time. Short side of the table, beautiful shot from Zhang. Risky, but it pays off.
Play.
If you're watching right now and you have friends who are not watching, seriously, do them a favor and make sure that they turn on the TV. If you're watching this live on ITTV, make sure you send them a link. This is the time to be watching. Who knows when you'll get to see this opportunity again. And it's not, the truth is, you'll probably get to see these two play again because they're both two of the top 4 in the world. Ma Long #1, Zhang number 4. So they will face off in semis and finals around the world when they're both playing. But they're both playing excellently right now. Oh, the commitment on the crossover and to take advantage of having Zhang out wide. Look at that, he was falling back at full extension. Ma Long's arm just covers that wide ball. Zhang tries to play it a little bit more to the middle. Once he sees Ma Long starting to turn in the backhand corner, it's tough to make the adjustments that quickly. This is a signature serve. Zhang with the high racket reverse pendulum. Quite similar to that of Fan Zhendong, who actually gets the racket above his head, turned upside down. This time the racket was overhead. Ma Long stepping into a 2-point lead. Now, while some of these rallies are just so fast and powerful, really, both players quite creative here in testing each other by changing the pace, bringing out different weapons of all sorts, sometimes slightly more passive defensive shots. Just trying to surprise one another.
7-9.
Heavy topspin shot, almost blocked back on the table. Really, table tennis, while clearly such a physical game, looking at the condition of these two and what's demanded of them, is obviously also very mental. It's like chess and kung fu at the same time. And now it's 3 game points for Ma Long to step into a 3-2 lead. We've got a timeout. No, it's 9-8. The score was wrong on the screen. Thought it was closer than that. So the timeout called, and it looks to be on the side of Ma Long. He does not want to let this lead go. What does he have to do? Easier said than done, but if Ma Long can get into the rally quickly, just get himself a 3rd ball attack. The thing is, what serve can he serve that will not come back with pace or a soft touch from Zhang Jike? Is it going to be a traditional half-long serve to the backhand side, the length of the table? That might be the safest, but it's also the most practiced receive that Zhang Jike has. Fast long serve, right on the elbow. If it's deep to the backhand, Zhang Jike is going to be confident with his receive. It's a high-risk serve from Ma Long. See the tricep of Ma Long on the right-hand side as he walks away. The important thing to note is that it's actually Zhang Jike who has the serve and Ma Long on the receive. And the touch once again from Zhang Jike. Left wide out on the forehand side from under the table to get this stroke. It's rare to say, but this is almost an all-arm shot from Zhang Jike. Timing and precision, once again leaving Ma Long with nothing but an uncomfortable defensive shot from under the table. Pretty rare to see Ma Long not able to go for a confident counterattack. Top of the net and just off, and following its every trace, Ma Long is right there in case. And now game point for Ma Long, splitting the points after the timeout. The second attempted shot block from Zhang Jike that floats up high. Not easy to do, and if you haven't practiced it a million times out here in game 5. So Ma Long with the heavy spin shot to the backhand, no counter attempt. Escapes 11-9 for a 3-2 lead. We'll be back game 6 just after this. And we're back for game 6. Ma Long leading 3 games to 2. The Dictator, the Dragon, the bottom of the screen starting off after a narrow escape in game 5. A little bit off the top of the net. Now again, regardless of who wins, game 7 is where it's at. That's what everybody wants to see. Fast long serve, another break for Zhang Jike. Not sure, it's very deep on the table. Tough to tell he was for. Sometimes a very light grazing of the net breaks the rhythm. Zhang Jike just seems to be apologizing for any time he gets a point against Ma Long where he doesn't hit a clear winner. 3 points in a row for Zhang Jike, all with apologies. This is the conversation and the emotion we saw yesterday. Not sure what the warning was. Umpire looked like she was telling Zhang Jike to calm down. Very interesting. Curious what was happening. Body language very peculiar. Zhang Jike spinning the ball up almost as if it was a let. Ball coming up high. Both players are going to play the point until they hear otherwise. That's what you have to do. Oh, an off-balance shot. Ma Long stepping around the corner, tries to recover and chase it with a hooking spin shot down the parallel line right there from Zhang Jike. Not an easy ball. Wrist strength rather. Guess you could say risk strength as well. One more grunt and an apology as Zhang Jike. Look how low this ball stays. Only 1 point dropped from Zhang Jike, and you got to hear a good sentence to himself. And the frustration and disappointment of missing that shot. Clearly both players here firing to win this. Backhand flip. Now Zhang Jike shows an open face. This leaves some ambiguity, some question in the mind of Ma Long. Is he going to play a touch shot? Will Zhang Jike leave it over the table? It doesn't allow him to get comfortable setting up for a long ball to counterattack. Some excellent touch. Ma Long with the hesitation, still able to keep it in a place that's difficult for Zhang Jike to get the opening attack. Clever punching technique. We saw a similar crossover yesterday from Zhang Jike. much like that of Yu Sung-min in the Olympics in 2004. Fan Zhendong most recently in the Asia-Europe Challenge just last week in China. Contacting the top of the racket. Now at the towel break, it was 5-1 for Zhang Jike. 3 out of the last 4 points to Ma Long. Quick turnaround. Now when you talk about difficult serves, not only to receive but to execute, Zhang Jike just pulling out a long serve that appeared to have topspin from the reverse pendulum. Most commonly, that's going to be a half-long serve to the middle of the table. But this time, half-long to the backhand. In a right-handed match, actually, even a righty-lefty match, this is the most common place on the table. Serves are going to be played to the length. A bit more forgiving, more margin for error for the server to serve it half-long. Serve comes too long, and Zhang Jike's right there to clean up the mess. But this time it's a decisive long serve. If you're going to put the ball off the table, it needs to be well placed and deep on the table, as Ma Long demonstrated right there. Still keeping it close here in game 6. So many times the opening flip is strong, but well anticipated from Zhang Jike. Seems to be very much in this match. 2 points away from sending it to a deciding 7th game. The double pump. Zhang Jike looked like he was going to play a soft shot, and then he pulls back the racket with a short stroke. Still generates a lot of spin and speed. And now 4 game points to Zhang Jike. Snake shot finds the net. Did not expect the point to go this way. The ball left too high. Ma Long ripping a shot right into the body, and sure enough, Zhang Jike brings it back, but it's 1 game point saved. Heavy push finds the net. And if you're at home watching this with a blanket nearby, this is where you cover your mouth and pull the blanket tight. It's getting intense. Pressure building. And it pays off the effort. It's the big forehand from Zhang Jike, 11 points to 8 to take game 6 and send it to it. The whole world should be watching right now. Grab your snacks, get hydrated, because game 7, the best game of them all, should be coming up right after this. Stay right here. And the players are back for game 7. The stadium, 360 degrees, has fans. Even some of the worst seats in the house are filled right now. Seeing it live is a completely different experience. Little break off the top of the net. Zhang Jike in the fishing game. This too often. Although earlier in the match, Zhang Jike did win a point, lobbing to Ma. Oh, is just too wide. It's got to be tough on the neck. Zhang Jike, watch his neck. Ugh. Motion. Some whiplash going on. Physical condition of these players has to protect pretty much everything in the body, all the way up through the neck.
Neck. Tools up.
Excellent timing on the counter. Covering, bringing it back quickly to anticipate. I mean, just so many things have to go right for a player to shots. Just short of the table and wide. The chop block attempt missed from Ma Long. It's a very unusual chop block, more underspin than usual. First attempt we've seen from Ma Long with, again, probably the highest percentage in the world of putting chop blocks on the table. This shot, this rally rather, goes a few shots longer than the serve came too long, and Zhang Jike gets the step around four, but chasing it wide, he's gonna have to stretch here to stay loose. He's gonna put it all on the line here in game 7. Soft touch from Ma Long, leaves it over the table, steps back into a 2-point lead. And at the first towel break of the game, Ma Long not with a comfortable lead. Although he does have 2 serves ahead. The chop on the forehand side. This is touch. Time again. What a gutsy shot. Side spin heavy out to the forehand and floating it back up. Zhang Jike has 1 point out this match. Lobs, chops, step around forehands, I guess, which is slightly more expected.
Next. 4-3.
And around the net receive off the let. Not too shabby. Back edge of the table for Ma Long. And the crowd roars, thinks the point went the other way at first. So they're gonna switch sides of the table. Ma Long up 5-3. I think it took some serious will from Zhang Jike to not attempt the chop block on that ball to the backhand. And now we've got a timeout on Zhang Jike's side. He's gonna step into the corner by himself and try to think clearly through the screams of the fans. I can seriously barely hear my voice right now. Have to imagine that you can. Zhang Jike still only trailing by 2. A lot more common to see timeouts with a 3-point differential. But it's game 7 and all it takes is a lead by 2, getting to 11 to win the match at this point. Zhang Jike's used the touch and the soft receives, the aggressive backhands. And again, the dance, it's an evolving game. Throughout the match, we've seen strategies, tactics changing from both players. Zhang Jike asking for the ball. For the serve, there's a bit of hesitation. Serve comes just too long, and Ma Long inspects when there's an open inch. So right out of the timeout, Ma Long stealing the point, defusing the timeout. And once again, the reverse pendulum tries to tighten it up a little bit. But still the ball comes off the table, and Ma Long, without hitting the racket or his hand, manages to steal the opening attack and make an uncomfortable third ball for Zhang Jike. This is unfortunate for Zhang Jike to have a soft ball like that. Gives himself a chance to get back in this point. Now it's easy to say in the replay, Ma Long's shot low to the net, deep on the table. Just not a ripping backhand. A little bit flatter than usual. And Ma Long just keeps rolling through right now. He's really put the pressure on Zhang Jike to perform the way he did on several occasions. It's not the first time we've seen Ma Long falling out to the forehand side away from the table, trying to hit the ball while moving back. This is a serve that I've only seen, that I can recall, this tournament from Zhang Jike. Sometimes as a player has rumors of retiring, says, no, I want to stay in this. They go back to the workshop and try to reinvent themselves, create some new serves to surprise their opponents. That was a kicking topspin serve. The around the net attempt does not land. High pressure shot for Zhang Jike with a lot of topspin. And now 5 match points for Ma Long to move on to defend his title and play the final. Exhibition point. And look at this. Oh, and he can't get into it. Zhang Jike, 5 points away from deuce in the 7th, but gives it up to his friend and teammate for an outstanding performance. Ma Long done.